The Last Haven. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. The world after a nuclear war. Manage the settlement, learn technology, make decisions, produce weapons, ammunition, organize defense, raid for supplies on other areas. Do not let residents die. Survive the nuclear winter. Yes guys, I'm back and I'm loving being back. It's great to be back. It really is, but I've had a 10-day break, a 10-day holiday. I just thought it was a great time to have a break. There was no games worth reviewing really, nothing that was urgently needed to be reviewed, but I've had to come back because we've got Watch Dogs and a few other biggies coming out over the next few days. So I thought I'd start off with The Last Haven. But yeah, I've had a complete social media holiday. Haven't bothered with anything. I've just done whatever I wanted to do, and oh man, what a freaking great time I've had. It's just been fantastic. And you know, I want to thank everybody for the amazing messages that I've had. People saying, oh, have a great break, just, you know, do what you want. I've gotten a load of new subscribers, loads of new patrons, loads of support. Hey, I tell you what, I should do this more often. But anyway, let's get on with this game. This came out in March this year, and it is in early access. I believe it's a one-man dev team that's done this. It's called The Last Haven, and it is a little city builder survival apocalypse game. And do you know how I've reviewed tons of these, and one of the biggest gripes I've had with all of them is, oh, it's just too safe. Your base doesn't really get attacked, and you know, it just kind of gets boring after about 4 or 5 hours because nothing really happens. Well, if you think like that, this might be just the game for you, because this game, guys, all freaking hell breaks loose pretty much early on. And it just gets worse. It just gets worse. You see, the way this game works is it's all about the temperature. And we're not talking about climate change here. We're just talking about basic temperature. You can, in the settings, customize your game to whatever you want with the amount of zombies, the starting temperature, how much resources you get, how often your base is going to get whacked and things like that. And I played it on the ultimate easy, and I'm getting me arse kicked after about 78 days. It is imbalanced, it needs a little bit of work, which I'll come to in a minute, but let's just quickly show you how the actual game works. You start off at 15 degrees C, and every day, that's if you play on pussy easy settings like I did, and every day that temperature drops by 1 degree. Now at the moment, when you start, no one cares. But the problem is, when it gets to freezing, 0 degrees, some of your buildings, such as your greenhouses, will no longer function unless you've installed radiators, heaters, which means you have to research it. Your houses won't keep your people warm either unless you've researched heating for your houses as well. You can research houses 2, the return. They're like a next tier up of house. And they can keep people warm up to, I think it's minus 30 degrees. And there's greenhouses too, the revenge of the greenhouse. And that will also allow you to have food going for about minus 30. And if you keep surviving and the temperature keeps dropping and you're still in the game, you can research greenhouses 3. This time it's fucking personal, which will take you to minus 50. And there's also how you get the idea. So you can keep researching down to allow your survivors, your people, your village, to survive really sub-zero temperatures. But there's a lot more to it than that, because you're going to run out of resources, you're going to run out of food, but you're going to run out of people. Oh yeah, you will run out of people because you're going to get attacked of zombies, you're going to get attacked of gangs of marauding thugs, you're going to execute people. I think I've executed more people than have actually been killed in combat, because if someone talks shit about you, you want to kill them, you just execute them. You can even build gallows, guys. Now, I haven't had a chance to hang anybody yet, but I did build the gallows, but everybody kind of behaved after I built the gallows. It was like, oh, shit! Shh! Don't talk about Mac behind his back. Now, with the resources, you basically build, you know, your tree guy who chops down the trees, the guy who gets the stone, but there's also derelict buildings hanging around, and you can build a resource hub next to them, and it'll show you what's in range of that hub, and then you can go and get coal, you can get food, you can get plastics and metal and stuff like that, and bring them back and stock your warehouse out. You can build factories, but everything has to be researched first. This is You've got to get this. Yeah, everything has to be researched before you can build it. So you build factories, then you can create machine guns, hand grenades, armor, helmets, stuff like that, pistols, sniper rifles, ammunition, a whole load of shit that you can make like that. You can also get vehicles, which then, if you've researched the map, allows you to go on expeditions. Now, these aren't just like expeditions of other games where it's like, oh yeah, click that, then off they go, then they'll come back and say, yeah, we did it. There is that in the game where you have no control over it, but on the main map here, the big map, you do the expedition. So if you were going to attack, say, a gas station, it'll tell you how many enemies there, and you can send a vehicle with some guys, and then you have to do the actual combat, and it's a bit like an RTS game. This is my second playthrough. My first one I got wrecked completely because I didn't realise until it was too late that you could crouch, that you could hide behind barricades, that you could go prone with your men, and it makes a massive, massive difference. Mackie said, with your men. Oh my goodness, there's probably women in the game. Oh my goodness, that's it. Oh no, here they come, I can hear them, they're coming. Now, if you do manage to win one of these battles on an expedition, the loot is great. You can get a shit ton of loot, bring it all the way back to your base. But again, the immersion's great because you don't just suddenly get back to your base. It might take another 32 hours to travel back to your base. And if your base gets attacked and this is all your army that's out there, well, you're in big trouble. You can build little machine gun nests around your base, which do help a lot. You can also build walls, but I never got round to it. I kind of ran out of people and didn't have enough research. And this brings us to the point that I was going to make earlier about the balance in this. It's one of them games, well, it feels like it's one of them games where if you don't build and research things in the correct order and you don't know what that order is until you've failed a few times, you're going to struggle. It's kind of like there's one way of doing this, and I don't like that because I like experimenting in these type of games. I don't like to feel that I have to do everything in a specific order or you're going to get just wrecked in the game. I feel that it's just a little bit too tough at the minute, forcing you down a path. For example, I'll be starting again. It'll be my third time now, which is normal for these type of games. This is the way it works. But I'll know now that there's a specific route that I have to go down because it's just a little bit too inflexible, the game. It's very kind of stiff at the minute. So there is that, but it's still in early access and the developer is changing quite a bit around with this. I've had a blast playing it. I've really enjoyed it. If you're into sort of city building, apocalyptic survival games, you're probably going to get your money's worth out of this. It's £15, which isn't a massive amount for a computer game. And I think I've played it I must have played it over 10 hours now. And I've had fun playing it, and I'm going to go back to it. And I can't wait to see the finished version of this. So there you go, guys. It's early access. I'm not going to score it with numbers, but I'm going to thumb it up. It's, in my opinion, definitely worth a buy.